Oh, well, hi there. Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Steve Smith. I'm a middle school English teacher, and I love to cook in my spare time, as you can see. Today I've decided to cook gumbo, and so you caught me as I was about to start seasoning the meat. So welcome to Mr. Steve's kitchen. Today we're making gumbo. So let's get this started. So I've got all these ingredients. I will explain as I go as to what each one of them are. The first thing we need to do is get our chicken seasoned. So I'm going to do some pepper and then some salt. Flip that over. Do the same thing on the other side. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And then in this pan right here, I'm going to do a half a stick of butter. And then I'm also going to add about 1/4 of a cup of bacon fat. So I'm just going to take all of this bacon fat out of here. Every time you cook bacon, save those drippings. It will make amazing flavor differences in your food. This one is empty now, so I need to make some more bacon apparently. All right, get that all going. This is gonna make that flavor so good. All right, so you should have your heat at about a medium high. I apologize, I said medium high, I meant medium low. And then we're gonna take our seasoned chicken breast and just lay that in there. And we're just gonna let that brown. And that'll take probably 10 minutes or so. So brown on both sides, and I'll see you when it's browned. All right, now that our chicken is brown, we're gonna go ahead and take it off the fire and put it on a plate just to let it rest. And then we're gonna go straight in to the same oil with our shrimp. Our shrimp has been deveined and cleaned. Make sure that you devein it. Nobody wants to eat the stuff that's in there. We know what it is. So put that in there. And we're just gonna let that cook up. That shouldn't take very long, but we kind of want to get it browned on both sides. So let's, you'll amp up your heat just a little bit and get a little bit of a char on the outside of that shrimp. When it is browned on one side, go ahead and start flipping to the other side. You can stir it and that will do the same thing. But once that is done, we'll move on to sausage. So we'll see you in a second. So you can see that the shrimp are starting to curl up. If you flip some of them over, you'll see that it's starting to get brown on the other side. So at this point, we'll just give them a stir. We want them to cook all the way through, but we don't want to overcook them. So we'll give it a little bit of a stir, and then we'll let it go for another couple minutes. Our shrimp is finished now. So on the same plate where we're resting our chicken, we're just going to take our shrimp and just place them on there. So we'll get all these shrimp out, and then I'll show you what to do with the sausage. All right, now we're going to take our sausage, and I just have regular, you know, the sausage you buy. This is jalapeno sausage. Do what you want as far as flavor goes. Andouille is pretty good. It's made for Cajun, but I like jalapeno sausage. So you're just going to take this and dump it in, and then just get it all layered in there, so that sausage can brown. And then when it browns, we'll start making our roux. As the sausage starts to brown, you want to go ahead and just start flipping them over. Should be a little brown on both sides. Just want that flavor to come out of the sausage. So I'll keep flipping these over, and then I'll see you when they're finished. All right, now that our sausage is done, we're gonna go ahead and take it out of the pan. I'm gonna reduce the heat down to low and just pull this sausage out. Try not to bring too much of the fat with you. You wanna leave as much behind as possible so we can make our roux. So if that sausage cupped up on you, you wanna make sure that you let the juices that are inside of that run out. All right, all of our meats are finished, so we're just gonna set it back here to rest, and then we're gonna start working on our roux. So for our roux, we're gonna add another bit of butter. So that's about 2 tablespoons of butter. Just gonna let that start to melt down. Again, you should be on like a low to medium low temp. And as soon as that butter melts, you're gonna add your flour. All right, you're gonna need a whisk for the flour. And then we've got a 1/2 cup of flour. In our pan, we have all of our fats. We're gonna pour in that flour. Just go ahead and put all of it in there. And you just wanna whisk that up. It's gonna be on a low heat. And you just want that all to come together and just keep whisking it until it turns like an amber or a dark brown. So just keep that moving. You can turn the heat up just a little bit once you get it all incorporated. And this is what's going to be the thickener for our gumbo. So this will be our roux. So we're just gonna keep whisking it. It's gonna take probably 10 minutes or so, but you'll see that flour will start to darken as it cooks. And as long as it doesn't burn, you're good. You just have to keep it moving. So take your heat back up to about a medium, and then just keep working it until it starts to brown. Notice it's starting to get a little bit darker. We're going to continue stirring for a few more minutes until it gets darker than this. All right, notice how dark it has gotten. So the darker the color, the more flavor you've got. At this point, we're going to turn our heat off. And we're going to get this into a bowl to cool off. All right, so I have a bowl here. We're going to take this and pour it into a bowl so it'll stop cooking. Look at that, I don't even need my spatula. It's coming out perfectly clean. All right. So this is our roux, and we'll set this aside to let it cool. All right, we have our roux cooling. We're gonna put the rest of this stick of butter in this pan. Let that start to melt, and then we're gonna go with our vegetables. So let's get this melted up. All right, to our butter, we're going to add 2 onions diced, 1 red pepper. You can use bell pepper if you want. I choose red pepper. So 1 red pepper diced. And then 3 stalks of celery sliced up. And we're just gonna let this go for about 10 minutes. And we're just gonna bring it down to where the natural sugars and fibers start to break down the vegetables. And so they should be translucent. So we'll give it about 10 minutes and I'll see you then. Our veggies have cooked down. So we have translucent celery and onion, and our red pepper have softened up. So to that, we're going to add our garlic. So we have 5 cloves of garlic. We get that in there. The reason why we don't add garlic in the beginning is because we don't want it to burn, because there's nothing like burned garlic. It's so bad. We'll let it cook for just a couple of minutes with the garlic to let that flavor really incorporate, and then we'll start adding our other spices. Now to this, we're going to add 1/4 of a bunch of parsley, finely chopped, 4 bay leaves. We have Gumbo File powder. This is ground up sassafras rather. And then a teaspoon of Cajun Seasoning. 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. Got a little salt for flavor. Some black pepper. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Just get this all mixed together. Ooh, the flavors coming out of here are amazing. We're going to let this go for about 8 to 10 minutes, and then we'll start adding our stock. See you in 8 to 10. All right, now that this has been cooking for about 10 minutes, it's time to add our chicken stock. So we're going to add 3 cups of chicken stock. And then we just want to bring this to a boil. So give that a nice stir. And then when it starts to boil, we're going to add our meat back to the mixture. All right, as you can see, we're starting to boil here. So we're going to add in our sausage and our chicken. We're not adding the shrimp until the end because we don't want to way overcook it, because we will be cooking this for another hour. Actually, an hour and 45 minutes. All right, we have all of our chicken and sausage added, and now we have 2 more things we need to add. This is the drippings from bacon. So that's separated from the oil. I'm just going to stir that in there for a little bit of added flavor. And then we also need to add our roux back to the mixture. So we're just going to pour that in there and then give that a good stir to incorporate it. It's important that you make sure that this roux is broken up and that it's not one big clump just sitting there. So make sure that you give this a good stir. You shouldn't see any lumps of roux, no big brown lumps. It should all work its way through, and your mixture should start to thicken up. At this point, notice how it's boiling around the edges and through the center. We're going to reduce the heat down to low, and then we're going to cover this and simmer for 45 minutes. So we'll see you in 45 minutes. Okay, it has been 45 minutes, and it's time to look under this lid. Check that out. All right. I'm going to give this a little stir. Make sure nothing's stuck to the bottom. And then this is our last step. So we're going to add 1 can of stewed tomatoes. Stir those in. And then we're going to add 14 ounces of pureed tomatoes. Give that a stir. And then we're also going to add 1 frozen package of okra. So just pour all that in there. And then get this stirred up just like that. And then we are going to put the lid back on it and let it go for an hour. So I'll see you in 1 hour. Okay, before we finish up with our gumbo, we have about 10 minutes left, so we're gonna go ahead and add our shrimp. All right, so we'll take that off. We're And give this a little stir. And then we're going to add our shrimp. And just let that cook for about 8 to 10 more minutes. And we will be good to go. So I'll see you in about 8 to 10 minutes. All right, it is time. The heat is off. Let's take a look at what we've made. And this is our gumbo. Let's serve it up. All right, our gumbo is finished. I've got a bowl of rice here. Let's take a look. Oh, look at that. Delicious, so full of meat. Yum. Let's take a taste. My goodness. That may have taken 2 hours to make, but it is so worth it. So give it a shot. Try out this gumbo. Again, my name is Steve Smith. Follow me on Instagram at Steve Loves to Cook, on YouTube at Mr. Steve Loves to Cook. Like, share my videos, subscribe to my channel, do all the things that let me know you care. It's been a pleasure. Have a great night.